They need their own Netflix series.
I think so.
Uncle Nearest is like the hood cousins from what's the people from Houston? The turkey leg hut. This is like a turkey leg hut situation, but these are the cousins that went to college. So you know what I'm saying? Like, you know how you got your people in the hood,
the like, entrepreneurs of the family.
The entrepreneurs of the family. The turkey leg hut is the hood people. You know, grew up in the hood or whatever. Even though one of them went to college, but Fawn Weaver is, man, she's must-see TV.
She's like a corporate juggernaut. Like, she's killing it. They're punching her, and she's hitting back.
She's fighting. She's fighting for her life. So let's go over this balance sheet. So we got our hands on the balance sheet of Uncle Nearest. Now, this is all allegedly because this is what the receiver said. This is what the court documents say. But Fawn Weaver is disputing this, and we're going to get to that towards the end. But it's 3 parts to this, so let's make sure you guys stick for all 3 parts so you can get the full context. So right now we're just going to go over the balance sheet, and this is what is in black and white. This is what the receiver said. Now, the receiver is the third-party person responsible for getting the finances in order due to the lawsuit from Farm Mid-America Credit Union that sued Uncle Nearest for not paying their $108 million loan. So let's go over the assets or the revenue and the liabilities, right? Okay, so revenues, estimated revenues for 2025 were just under $25 million, right?
Yes, which, okay.
Right, okay. I thought they were doing a lot more than that, but
I think initially they said that they had projected $70 million, and it was really 25.
Yeah,
something crazy.
So that's definitely an issue. When we are looking at debts, so the total known debts of the company, according to the receivership and the paperwork that's in the court documents, is $174 million. So we're going to break that down. So let's break down $174 million. So $120 million are collateral-backed loans. So what is a collateral-backed loan? A collateral-backed loan is like, I give you a loan for a house. You don't pay me the loan. I got your house.
That's collateral.
Collateral. You give me a loan for a car. You don't pay the car note. I got your car. You give me a credit card. I run up $100,000 on a credit card. There's no collateral on that. The collateral is I'm gonna pay you back. I owe you. So just think about collateral, non-collateral. Okay.
Yes.
So some of their unpaid bills is $22 million. Now, this can be suppliers. This could be service providers. Say, I have a contract with you to clean our distillery, right? And I got $1 million contract a year, and I haven't paid you your monthly $150,000 or whatever I'm paying you, right?
It's unpaid. Yep.
So now unpaid bills, service providers, it's a lot going on with that. Suppliers, they can be buying caps to the top of their barrels or whatever, right? We don't know what they're buying, but that could be one of those things. $28 million is owed to lenders. So this is borrowed money, not suppliers. And this is uncollateral, right? So these are things that are not tied to any specific liability.
Yes.
So not tied to any specific asset. Yes. So this could be a line of credit. This could be
anything that's an unsecured debt. Like,
correct.
If you have a credit card or I have credit cards and they're very unsecured, and I have student loans also unsecured. So you're going to have to do your job with the unsecured debt.
Correct. And then, they got payroll, taxes, that is coming in around $4 million.
That's not too much.
So the total based on the reporting is $174 million. So let's go into part 2 now about the receiver. So the big issue with the receiver is when the receiver came in, the receiver was saying all the documents, the financial data was deleted from 2024 and beyond.
Yes.
So all they had was 2024
and 2025.
2025, and then now we're in 2026. So that's a big issue because they reported that they haven't paid federal taxes since 2018 or haven't filed federal taxes since 2018. That's a big issue.
Yes.
apparently they were getting really, really spicy about what's going on because there's people in the company that accuse the CFO. Fawn Weaver is accusing the CFO of deleting documents, not, not having the proper finances, mismanaging money, whatever.
Wow.
Some people in the company are accusing Fawn Weaver of deleting documents, mismanaging funds. So there's a lot of pointing, right? Things got spicy. The receiver said, "That's it. I don't want to talk to you." So the receiver don't want to talk to the angry black woman, which is Fawn Weaver.
That.
So that's what he's trying to do, right? He's trying to put the angry black woman tag on her, and it's apparently working because
there's a tone that he doesn't want to engage with.
Yes.
And so now everything has to go strictly through attorney. So the receiver's attorney talks to Fawn Weaver's attorney. Yeah. They don't even talk directly to each other. So I know that was awkward in court.
That's very awkward. But then it's one of those situations where if that was a white man, you wouldn't be able to do that, right? You would just have to put your big boy pants on, and clap back, and negotiate because these lawyers, these mortgage bankers, these agents. You don't think they be getting spicy in the negotiating room, in the boardroom?
Definitely.
But
it's probably a cultural thing too.
Yeah.
It's like I don't know these waters, and I don't want to. I don't want to do anything that would have me liable.
Yeah.
Or have me like.
I don't know your energy.
I don't know what
when
that
you raise
means.
Your voice, or you want to come up on. Do you
I don't know.
Fight, or are you just passionate?
Or. The idea that like if it was two men in general going at it or whatever, that's an energy that generally you both can handle.
Yeah.
But you don't want to necessarily bring that same energy with towards a woman. Towards a woman.
Then another thing is Fawn Weaver's the CEO, and she's not just the CEO; she's the founder.
The buck stops with her.
There's no further you can go up. You know what I mean? So it's one of those situations where if you were just a VP that was hired here or executive that was hired here, I could say, let me talk to the CEO. Well, let me talk to the founder. Let me talk to the chairman of the board. Now it's like I'm all of that wrapped in one. So
pretty much
he's just like, okay, let's just talk to the lawyers because at this point we're not getting anywhere. Another thing I found that was real interesting is the whole court case in the hearing that they're going through. They were fighting and jockeying for the receiver continuing.
Yes.
Fawn Weaver wants to take back control of the company. Her and her executives run the leadership team. They want to run the business.
That's understandable.
That's understandable from her perspective. The receiver is saying, and let's talk about this this is very important. When you are in receivership, can't no other party sue you. You're already getting sued.
Right. What is that called? A stay?
Yeah. Like you can't get sued because you are in a receivership. There's a third party involved over your assets, so we don't even know what assets you have. So somebody filing a lawsuit is kind of like,
we're still investigating.
Yeah, that's just like even with bankruptcy. Once you're going through bankruptcy, all the lawsuits, all that stuff stop. The receiver is communicating to the judge and to the investors that not only are there investors and other suppliers and people lined up waiting to sue her, if we give Fawn Weaver the control, they all are going to sue her.
Yes.
And these suppliers, the creditors, everybody is going to call the notes of Uncle Nearest, and they're going to go out of business in 60 to 90 days.
Yes. Well, that was his estimate.
Yes.
And who's to know? Fawn Weaver, and I know we're going to get to it, but Fawn Weaver was kind of like, let him come.
Yes. So
her big boy pants is high.
Yes, she's like, let him come. And then, okay, let's talk about the assets. We've been talking about a lot of liabilities. So the company has a lot of assets.
Yes.
So one of the big discrepancies that led to the lawsuit was this estate or this property in Martha's Vineyard. So Fawn Weaver claims the property, or she estimates the property to be worth $4.5 million. The receiver said, nah,
like
it's worth 2.6, 2.4, in that range. So that's 1.5, almost $2 million worth of money that could make somebody whole. You see what I'm saying? So they haven't sold that because they haven't figured out what that's worth. Remember the whole lawsuit was about barrels that was missing.
That is the part that was really interesting because
Yes.
then the receiver says, "Well, we found $20,000 worth of barrels."
Yes.
And so Fawn is like, "Which
Well,
one
not
is it?"
$20,000, but 20,000 barrels.
It was 20,000 barrels, not 20,000.
Yeah. Because
Oh,
the
okay.
barrels are supposed to be worth, like, this is another thing that he said in the
Right, the barrels were supposed to be worth
$1,400
He
a
couldn't-
barrel, but he said he couldn't sell them for what, $100
No,
or $400.
He said he could. He
said
tried to sell them for 1,000.
He said he tried to sell them for 1,000.
And the best offer he got was $400.
But with Fawn Weaver, she clapped back at that, and I actually kind of agree with her on this. She was basically saying, like, okay, y'all miraculously found some barrels.
Right.
Okay, good. However, we're in a receivership. They know we're distressed. Nobody's going to offer fair market value for us. We're in receivership. That's why they're basically saying take us out of receivership so we can liquidate some of this stuff. People are not going to make us legitimate offers because we are in a receivership.
Here's the thing, though. Her entire kind of framework, her perspective, her clapback is like, we got into a receivership because we got into a loan at $108 million loan.
Yeah.
And that $108 million was not supposed to be backed by the barrels. But now,
well, see, the thing about it is it was supposed to be backed by barrels, but I guess the CFO overestimated how many barrels or how valuable the barrels was.
Maybe that's what it was, because I was confused when I'm like, she has a point because she keeps saying, well, you guys miraculously found these barrels, but we were supposed to be in the receivership because we weren't supposed to have the barrels. We weren't supposed to have enough collateral to substantiate this debt. But now the barrels are found. So which one is it? And I kind of feel like, yeah, which one is it? Do they not have the collateral to back this loan and this receivership, or do they have enough? Leave them alone and let them sell it. For me, that was a bit unclear and to Fawn Weaver's point, it's a bit unclear. How did y'all find these barrels that we were never supposed to have? It sounded like to me that the bank tried to say, I don't think they have the barrels.
Well, it was also, she also reported that the barrels that they miraculously found are now on the balance sheet as $45 million in debt. So they found the barrels, but now the barrels are on there in debt. As debt instead of assets. That's a real big deal. But sometimes you can get fronted assets like a barrel. That's assets in the whiskey in the spirits industry.
It is.
So sometimes you can get fronted that, and that I can see how that can become debt. Right? It's kind of like if
you don't want to have too much inventory. Yeah, period.
It's kind of like if you run a clothing brand and your supplier or your manufacturer supplies you with jogging fits for the upcoming fall, so you're $100,000 in debt to the manufacturer. That's real debt. But you also have a couple $300,000-$400,000 in assets because you can now sell that at your price.
Right.
So it can be on the books as debt and assets. But the problem is, if it's $45 million in debt, then it could be $45 million in assets as well. Where's that money?
Exactly.
That's the real big discrepancy. Yeah. Okay, so where's this money? Because if you give me $45 million in barrels of whiskey, I owe you that $45 million. I have $45 million in whiskey barrels or whatever. Okay, did I sell them?
That's what I was going to say.
Where's this money
Because not for nothing, right? The way business works, if you give me the inventory for $45 million and that's on a balance sheet as a liability, as a debt, it should also be on a balance sheet as an asset and potential revenue for like $55 million. You know what I mean?
Correct, because the whiskey barrels, they have a premium on their brand.
I was gonna say,
so it's not like they're just selling it straight for the $45 million.
Exactly.
Right. Kind of going back to the clothing line example, $100,000 from the manufacturer should turn into $200,000-$300,000 because I'm putting my margins on top of it and my price my profit on top of it. So I'm not only making revenue, I should be making profit. But I want to go to the Fawn Weaver clapback, but I'm gonna just say the last things is the receiver claims to reduce the monthly losses from 1 million to 300,000. He claims if the company goes under, there's going to be 70 employees that lose their job.
Yep.
But he did acknowledge the brand cultural equity that it has in the community, which is of value. So, but I mean, he's a white dude. He probably don't know how to value that, but Fawn Weaver does.
I was going to say,
which is why she's fighting for this.
No, and I understand the idea that this is kind of unclear. So Fawn Weaver was not really interested in talking about the case unless she went to see the judge. And so she went to see the judge, and this is what she had to say, that she's writing her third New York bestseller book, okay? And it's called The Attempted Heist of Uncle Nearest.
Yes.
And she says that the numbers don't add up for the financials. And the receiver is...
The problem with that, though, who made it? You know, like who... Okay, go ahead. I'm going to let you go. I'm going to let you go. I'm going to let you cook.
That's why I don't hate it. Fawn says the numbers don't add up with the financials. The receiver is testifying in court and releasing documents. She also says that, you know, the bank controls their shipping and their bottling and basically stopped their ability to produce at the certain time frame that they wanted to. And then once they were able to get the bottles out, you know, the sales kind of dropped.
Right.
And so she is framing this as, I'm being set up by the bank because they are giving me operational challenges, which then in turn give me revenue or sales challenges. So, and she also says that the bank is giving the receiver $500,000 a month.
And when I seen that, I needed a little more clarity, but you kind of cleared it up for me, which makes a lot of sense. So
because the receiver said that if the receivership stopped, the bank would stop investing in the brand. Because
the bank is still funding Uncle Nearest.
So the bank is still giving them a certain amount of money. Now, I don't know how much of the $500,000 the receiver's, you know, salary is a month. I don't even know if it come out the same, you know, bucket. But that $500,000 goes to support the business in the ways that it has to. So presumably that money would have went to Fawn Weaver.
Right.
And they don't want to mess with Fawn no more.
Exactly. Exactly. They're not trying to fund the operations if it's her at the helm because they lost confidence in her ability to lead an executive team, which is, as a CEO, that's what you're here to do.
And so she doesn't believe that the receivership is required anymore. She feels like, you know, they have not been able to, and which this is what I like, they have not been able to prove in court with paperwork that she has committed any fraud. Because even though she has a lot of debt, her argument is they have a lot of revenue too. And they would be able to, their sales and their revenue would be even greater if they would release the receivership.
Yeah.
So one of the things that I like that she said, you know, the judge hasn't made a decision, but the judge said, you know, if I do make this decision and I release this receivership, if there are wolves at the door, they are coming in.
Now, break that down. Because when we hear that, and I heard her clap back, and I know exactly what she said. So can you kind of give a little more context to what do you mean by wolves?
Well, when she says wolves, she does have people. She has a cap table. She has investors. She has contracts out that need to be satisfied. So there are a lot of hands in this pot.
And there's a lot of people even accusing her of fraud. So
others, investors,
She kind of floated that in her video saying basically like, if you guys are accusing me of fraud, and the way she said it, I'm like, okay, I can kind of understand that. She's like convincing me that, you know what I'm saying? But she's like, she would rather be accused of fraud and put everything out in front instead of doing it with the receivership because it's kind of like I would rather go down steering my own ship than go down having a third party involved and point fingers at me.
She says, I rather face challenges that are visible than fight battles behind hidden processes. Again, I think she really feels like the bank wants her company.
Yes.
I don't know why, because the banks are not in the business of operating companies outside of the banks.
Yeah.
But that is the attempted heist of
You know what's so crazy?
Nearest.
Life is, you know what's so crazy? It could be a situation in a real life scenario where, let's say I'm gonna just use a random example. Let's say I'm Ciroc. Let's say I'm Douce. Let's say I'm one of these big brands. Say I'm Jack Daniels, and I want to take your company. I don't want to acquire it though.
Ooh. Oh, this is getting sinister.
Business happen. This warfare. What? Business is war. So we could, for one, you can hire an industry leader, executive, the CFO. I come in, ruin your shit. Or I could have these bankers and say, hey, go do some business with them. I know they can't sustain it. Whatever they ask for, give it to them. Soon as they default on it, boom, we're going to take it. And I'm going to come and be the guy to buy out those distressed assets. I don't want to buy it at $1 billion valuation. They were valued at $1 billion. I buy it at $200 million.
Yeah.
And it's the same brand, because think about this. If Jack Daniels or one of these companies come up and buy Uncle Nearest and keep Fawn Weaver as a CEO and like strip a bunch of equity from people from the cap table, pay a bunch of people off, Fawn Weaver still going to be the firecracker promoting the brand. Everybody love it, whatever. And they grow it, and then they go sell it for $1 billion.
Now they just pocketed all that money.
They just made $800 million, and that wealth was stolen from the cap table, the investors. You see what I'm saying? Business is war. Woo. So like, I even heard of a lot of lawyers saying like a lot of these athletes and these entertainers that got millions and hundreds of millions of dollars, women, they send women to them. The women, they do whatever they do, and then they file these lawsuits to damage and use them as leverage. So business is war. That's why Stephen A. Smith said, like, he don't talk to no women that come at him. He be like, I just feel like somebody sent you. Who sent you? Like, that's a real thing. Who sent you in business? You'll be surprised how weak some people are. They send them a carrot, they'll take the carrot, man.